In this exercise, we'll convert a 2D drawing of a fixture block to a 3D model. We'll use the close overlay approach, folding the front and right side views down at the exact edges of the top view. This eliminates the need to determine an offset distance as we did in earlier 2D to 3D exercises. For parts like this one, this method can be easier to use. Selection of entities, however, can be more difficult. We'll start by switching from View 1 to View 7. We'll click on the X-Form dynamic icon and select the right view. We'll use the indent option and position the dyna handle at this corner. Then we'll reposition the view at this corner on the top view. We'll rotate the blue vector 90 degrees and then rotate the red vector 90 degrees to position the right view like this. We'll use the X-Form dynamic tool again and select the front view. We'll reposition the front view in the same manner so it looks like this. We'll click on the extrude icon and use the dynamic option. We'll select the entities highlighted here and hit accept. A blue vector appears on the profile. We'll drag the vector to the rear. We'll right mouse click on the vector and indicate a Z position by selecting a rear corner. Next, we'll set a construction plane on the right face of the part. Then we'll select a new construction color. We'll use the rectangle by corners tool to sketch a rectangle at each of these locations using the indent option. We'll click on the extrude icon and use the dynamic option again. We'll select the two rectangles that we just made and click on accept. And we'll drag the blue vector to the left and using the indent option click on this corner. We'll Boolean union the three solids and then use the cut tool to punch the 4 holes through the part. So let's work with an actual file. We'll open up KCV fixture block 1.ckd. Let's switch to View 7. We'll click on the X-Form dynamic tool. We'll select the right view of the part and click on accept. Using the indent option, we'll click on this corner. Now we'll reposition the yellow ball of the dyna handle, and using indent, we'll click on this corner in the top view. We'll now rotate the blue vector around 90 degrees and then rotate that red vector down 90 degrees, and that will be the final position. We'll click on accept. Let's select the front view. In this case, we're going to use indent again, place the dyna handle here, reposition the yellow ball on the dyna handle. Using indent option at this corner on the top view, we'll rotate that red vector down 90 degrees. And now we have the front view in position. Let's click on extrude. We're going to use the dynamic option this time. We'll click on OK. We're going to select the outer profiles of the front view. That defines the perimeter shape. Once we do that, you'll see a blue vector appears. We can drag that vector backward. We're going to indicate a Z position by indent. Click there, and now we've got that part. Let's set a C-plane on the right face of the part. We'll select a new construction color, something that contrasts. We'll zoom in on the right side. And what we're going to do is quickly, using rectangle by corners, we're going to sketch 2 rectangles, picking off the ends because those are not closed profiles there. So this is a real fast way to recreate those entities without having to type anything in. We'll zoom back out, and now we're going to do a dynamic extrude once again. So let's click on the extrude. We'll use the dynamic option, so just click on OK, 0 for the draft obviously. And then we're going to select 2 rectangles by color. We'll hit accept. We'll drag the blue vector backwards, and using the indent option, we'll click on that corner back there for the Z position. So now we get those 2 runners underneath. Let's use the Boolean union and select the 3 solids and hit accept. It gives us 1 part. Last thing we're going to do is click on the cut icon. We'll use forward and back and through wall. We'll select the solid, and then we're going to select the entities that define those 4 holes and punch through the part. When we get done, we can delete everything except for the solid, and we have our finished part. So let's recap. In this exercise, we converted a 2D drawing to a fixture block to a 3D model, and we used the close overlay approach, folding the front and right side views down at the exact edges of the top view. This eliminated the need to determine an offset distance as we did in earlier exercises. For parts like this one, the method can be easier to use It can make the selection of entities a little bit more difficult, but then you get to use the dynamic function and extrude, so it's a trade-off. We started by switching from view 1 to view 7, and we used the X-form dynamic icon, selected the right view, used the indent option and repositioned the dyna handle at this corner, and then we rotated first the view around in the plane, horizontal plane, and then rotate it down the red vector. We did the same thing with the front view, reposition that so it looked like this. We clicked on the extrude icon and used the dynamic option. We selected the entities highlighted here, hit accept, blue vector appeared, we dragged that sucker backwards, solid grew with it, and we indicated the Z position using indent and picking on this back corner. Next we set a C-plane on the right face of the part, and we selected a new construction color. We used rectangle by corners to quickly sketch a rectangle at each of these locations. And then we used extrude with the dynamic option once again, selected 2 rectangles, switched backwards, picked up this corner, and that gave us exactly what we wanted there. We Boolean union the 3 solids and then used the cut tool to punch the 4 holes through the part.